Okay, so on to question number 5. Predict whether the following compounds are soluble or insoluble in water. Okay, so first we need to find out if water is polar or nonpolar. So let's draw out the structure of water. So oxygen is more electronegative than hydrogen. So I can show a non-zero dipole moment going in the direction of oxygen. So one side of the water molecule will be partially negative and the other side will be partially positive. So therefore, water is polar. So this helps us answer the questions because compounds that are also polar will be soluble in water, and compounds that are nonpolar will be insoluble in water. So a rule that can help us remember this is that like dissolves like. Okay, so now starting with compound A, we have nickel 2 perchlorate. Okay, so nickel 2 perchlorate is ionic. So therefore it is soluble in water. So B, we have ethylamine. And the question already tells us that this is a polar compound. So therefore we know that this will also be soluble in water. And next we have toluene. Okay, so the structure of toluene is a benzene ring that has like a methyl group sticking out. So toluene is a nonpolar molecule. So therefore it is insoluble in water. So the reason why the carbon-hydrogen bonds are nonpolar is because they are similar in electronegativity. So the difference between them is insignificant enough to have a non-zero dipole moment. So therefore, most hydrocarbons that don't contain any electronegative atoms will be nonpolar. Okay, so I just wrote that The carbon-hydrogen bond is nonpolar, since carbon and hydrogen have similar electronegativity values. Okay, so let's see what the junior tutor said. Nickel 2 perchlorate is soluble in water. It is an ionic compound, so a bonding between a metal and a nonmetal. And ionic compounds are soluble in water since they break down into ions when dissolved in water. Polar molecular compound ethylamine is soluble. Ethylamine is a small alcohol. Small alcohols and other polar molecular substances are soluble in water. Like water, polar molecules have a partial positive and negative charges. The attraction between opposite partial charges helps polar molecules dissolve in water. So next we have toluene, which is insoluble. Toluene is a very nonpolar molecule with only carbon-carbon and carbon-hydrogen bonds. It is able to bond to itself very well through nonpolar van der Waals interactions, but it is not able to form significant attractive interactions with the very polar solvent molecules. Hence, toluene cannot be dissolved in water. Hydrocarbon molecules and other nonpolar substances are insoluble in water. Yep, so this solution is correct.